Hello, my name is TragicSlip, and this is my very first Let's Play that I've ever done, so thank you for joining me. Before we get started on this, however, I want to say a few things about how we're going to do this. As far as the story goes, I'm sure most of you already pretty well get it or have played the game, so there's not really a lot new or different than what you've already experienced. So I'm going to keep this pretty simple and go through the conversations pretty quickly. If there's anything important or that I don't know about or I'm curious about, I will probably read through it. And I will keep you guys up to date on what's happening. But as far as the conversations go, we're going to go ahead and go through those as quick as possible. I don't want to spend much time on that. So let's begin. Start out with a little cutscene here first, and then we'll get into the actual game.
You spent your youth in the library fortress of Candlekeep, under the kind tutelage of your foster father, Gorion. Imoen shared this home, a kindred spirit. Her background was as mysterious as your own. Gorion's murder brought answers to your questions when his killer Saravak was revealed to be your brother. You and Saravak were a product of the time of troubles, a chaotic period when gods were made flesh and forced to walk the earth. One such deity foresaw his own death and walked the land before the cataclysm. He left a score of mortal offspring, intended to be the fuel for his rebirth. The god was Baal, Lord of Murder, and you are one of his children. Saravak sought a war of sacrifice to prove his worth, believing he would become the new Lord of Murder. You killed your brother, sending his taint back to Baal. You were the hero of Baldur's Gate, but some suspected you shared the same lineage as Saravak. You departed soon after, under circumstances much darker than anyone would have believed. They came as you rested, figures cloaked in mist that clouded your thoughts, blurring the lines between consciousness and dreaming. There was no malice or hatred, no mention of an old score, only quick capture and the promise of grim deeds to come.
Alright, so that doesn't look very appealing, to say the least. Hope we don't start out there. Alright, anyways, the type of character I'm going to make is an elven swashbuckler. Not necessarily that the class itself is that great, but it's fun. It's different than what a lot of the normal people play, so I figured I'd go ahead and go with that. Now, my history on this game, I did not play it when it first came out. It was actually many years later that I actually tried it for the first time, and I had not played the first Baldur's Gate. So, up to this point, I'm not quite sure what the story is. But nonetheless, this is a great game. It's very hardcore, very old school, and there's a lot of fun things to it. A lot of video games I'm sure, have taken aspects of this, built on it, and introduced them to their games. It wouldn't surprise me. Now, with these stats here, I'm going to set them accordingly rather than roll for them, because that would just take far too long. So there we go, that looks about good for Swashbuckler. And I've actually rolled those stats off screen, so it is possible to get those without cheating. I'm going to make this guy a dual wielder. He's going to wield 2 weapons, and they're going to be long swords. Let's go ahead and get these skills up. Gonna need them, definitely. Though as a swashbuckler, we probably will not be the main thief in the party. We'll probably not be finding traps or picking locks. Though, I mean, it's very possible with this character that we could. I just don't really see it being the correct option. This will be more of a melee-oriented character. Alright, yes, he's going to have brown hair and kind of dark skin. That looks pretty good.
To battle and victory!
Yeah, that's probably my favorite voice sample. Wasn't too happy when I first listened to all those. Alright, we are going to name this guy Archael, the Elven Swashbuckler. And let's get this party started with another short scene.
Ah, the child of Baal has awoken. It is time for more experiments. The pain will only be passing. You should survive the process. Interesting. You have much untapped power. Do you even realize your potential?
More intruders have entered the complex, Master.
They act sooner than we had anticipated. No matter, they will only prove a slight delay.
Wake up! Come on! We have to get out of here!
Okay, so here's pretty much the gist of the story going on. We've been in this dungeon, and apparently we've been experimented on repeatedly by an evil man with magical powers. And that's about all we know right now. Emowyn, our longtime friend from Candlekeep, has come to save us from our cell and help us move on. Alright, we've hit the 9-minute mark.